welcome to Across the Omniverse, a podcast brought to you by Cinema Sangha. My name is Devin Faraci. I'm one of the hosts of the program. Joining me, as he traditionally does...
My name is Derek Faraci, and we don't say we love getting paid money. How are you, Devin?
I'm good. You got what is this, Logitech you got going on here? Tell me all about this.
Yeah, it's some kind of Logitech thing. It's supposed to make you sound better.
You do sound a lot better today on my end. I don't know how it's going to sound to the folks at home, but for me, it sounds a whole lot better. So, nice work. We had a... It's not funny because we just had a very lengthy situation where Derek had been fucking with his mic and settings.
You were laughing the whole time. You had to take off your jacket. You were sweating from laughing.
I was sweating from laughing. That is true. For a long time, he had his webcam mic on. Didn't know it. Anyway, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm okay. How cold is it out there?
It is currently temps to drop is all it says. So pretty cold. 17 degrees.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh. That sucks.
It's a chilly day.
Yeah. I watched a movie.
What I did?
What'd you do?
I went and saw Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah, you know what? We talked about this. You talked to me about it, and I didn't reply to you about it.
Nope.
That maybe this is the the Watchmen for the month.
Maybe.
I think it should be. I actually think it should be. What do you think?
We got to do it quick before I forget everything.
It's going to be on Netflix on Friday, so I guess...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I could watch it again. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess... Although we have nothing but time, both of us, right?
Yeah.
You remain unemployed, so there's no longer
that.
Yeah, there's no longer a stricture against recording on weekdays in the same way there used to be.
Yeah. For the moment.
For the moment. You're feeling good, though, huh?
I am.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. I love that. I love the positive thinking. Power of positive thinking is very nice. Well, good. I watched a movie yesterday that made me want to go back to the Clown Motel and do that video right.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was called Shadows of the Desert. And it was like a couple of podcast guys went to the Barago Desert, Barago Anza Desert over here, just outside of LA, and investigated the many different paranormal claims. And they obviously had a pro camera, like a prosumer camera, and they had like a drone. But I think that we could have done that much better. And it was like real. It's like two podcast bros, you know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Do you listen to many paranormal podcasts?
No.
Okay, because maybe then you don't know who these guys are. I didn't know who they are either. Amazon Prime recommended it to me. Shadows in the Desert, High Strangeness in the Borrego Triangle. Everything's a triangle now, by the way.
Sure.
David Flora and Derek Hayes are the guys, and they are both podcast guys. It was not that good, but the thing is that what I think is interesting is that it was the complaint that you had about ghost shows. These guys just did not have like fun. There was not like a lot of personality, and I think that that's something that you and I could have done. You know what I mean? Like if I understood your vision more at the Clown Motel, people can watch our Clown Motel experience, can't they?
Yeah, they can watch it if they join the Discord. They can watch it, and I think it's amazing. I think it's a great video.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying we could have done like a thing that we could have released on. This is just two guys put a thing on Amazon Prime.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Could not
like,
do that.
Why not?
Because I use a lot of music that we would have to pay for.
Well, you just change it around. But I'm saying, like, if we thought about that. Anyway, I was very taken with how easy it seems to be to just sort of do a thing. Also, these guys, they went into the desert and they were like, it's really easy to die out here. And, like, it is, like, the desert's not great, like, obviously. Yeah. But, I mean, they really were, like, kind of leaning on that to make it seem more interesting and exciting than it was.
Sure.
So, I also watched 28 Days Haunted. Did you ever watch that one?
No.
This is the worst thing anybody's ever done. It is a reality show on Netflix where 3 different teams go into a haunted location for 28 days, and they're cut off from the outside. Okay. And every one of these 3 teams is the most over-the-top bunch of jerks you ever seen. And so, like, they walk in, they go, "Oh, the energy in here is really heavy. I feel like there's a lot of spirits that need our help." And, like, they just walked in the door. Like, nobody's like, "Hey, I get that room." Like, it's like, "I think someone was murdered here." And it's like, come on, relax, guys. I only made it through most of the first episode before I had to tap out because it was so stupid. Great idea, though. Like, ghost hunters trapped in a haunted house for 28 days.
That is a very good idea. That is a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a strong idea.
Yeah, that is a smart idea. I like that.
Anyway, we do too much ghost show talk on this because I've been on a real ghost show kick for this month. It's been really my thing.
Well, you got to watch
Portals to Hell?
Portals to Hell with Jack Osborne.
Oh, I won't watch it because Jack Osborne hosts it. There's a bunch of shows that Jack Osborne hosts that I won't watch.
I watched it because I was like, what is Jack Osborne doing hosting a ghost show?
He's got a bunch of them. He does like investigation shows. Yeah, it's crazy. I had no idea.
You know what? Good for him. He's like, I want to do this. Good, go do it.
Is that what's happening, or is it that his agents were like, "There's a lot of you can get money for ghost shows right now, so why don't we do some ghost shows?" I think that's what actually happened.
The amount of them that he's done, I feel like I think he's into it. I think he's
a bunch of them are specials. If you look, a bunch of them are specials.
He's had like 3 different series as well. And I think he's just really into it. And I would do the same thing if I like was a Nepo baby. I'd be like, I want to have a ghost show. Go do a ghost show. You know, why not? Why not? You get to travel, see the world.
I just won't watch it. I won't watch it. I also watched all of Dark Tourist this weekend.
I don't know that one.
You should watch. Maybe you wouldn't like this. I don't know. David Farrier, who is a New Zealand journalist, he made a movie called Tickled about the weird underworld of tickling fetish.
Yeah.
And he's really terrific. He did this show called Dark Tourist where he travels around the world to different, like, quote-unquote dark tourist locations, places that people go that are like war zones or disaster areas, like to go, like, have a different kind of a vacation, you know, that kind of a thing. Some of it's really good. Some of it I found very frustrating, but some of it is very, very good. And they go to Fukushima. There's like a tour that will take you to Fukushima, and they get told that they're going to be exposed to 0.02 rads at any given time. And then there's one point where they're like, it's 14 rads right now. And the whole bus makes a vote to leave because they all think they're going to die. It's pretty incredible.
I suggest, what's the name of the show? I think it's Destination Unknown.
Destination Unknown?
Yeah.
What's that one?
That's with Josh Gates, and he's got a bunch of shows throughout the years, and he's got a lot of personality. He's joking around a lot. He's usually pretty funny. There's a great episode from his sci-fi show where I forgot where they are, but they're someplace, and he doesn't speak the language, and his guide doesn't speak English, and they don't have a translator, and his guide is like pointing down to these like really small stairs, and Josh Gates is like 6'5". He's a big dude. He's like, "You want me to go down those stairs?" And the guy's like, yep, nodding. He's like, "I can't. I will fall and die." And the guy just starts laughing. He goes, "Die!" It's great. That's a show I greatly enjoyed.
Where is that on?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Dark Tourist is on Netflix. In the first episode, he goes to Medellin.
Well, it's got to be on HBO Max because his latest show was on Discovery, so it's got to be.
The first episode, David Farrier goes to Medellin in Colombia, and he goes on some Pablo Escobar tours, and he ends up meeting up with Pablo Escobar's hitman, who did 20 years in jail and is now out, and he's now a YouTube guy that makes little YouTube action movies about himself.
Very nice.
And this guy killed, he admitted to killing like 200 people for Pablo Escobar, including his own girlfriend.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and it's really fun to watch because the guy's kind of like super charming and fun. And then like when he's like filming an execution scene for his YouTube show, you're like, oh, this is how it goes. Maybe like this guy's done this. Like,
he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, and he gets like a little intense a little bit there with David. It's kind of funny. Okay. So David's a good-natured New Zealander.
Yeah.
And nice guy. I've met him a couple of times socially. Good fella. But I recommend Dark Tourist. Some of the stuff I had a problem with. He goes to McCamey Manor. Do you know McCamey Manor?
Not by name.
McKamey Manor is the most intense home haunt in the world. You have to sign a 72-page waiver to go in. They physically torture you in there. And
it's like a okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a with actors and stuff, and they're hitting you and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. But it's the most intense one. Like, it is the most, and if there's a lot of controversy, he's been brought up on charges. And the thing is that Farrier goes, he makes it about 5 minutes in, doesn't even make it into the house. Like, in the preview part, he taps out. Wow. But he really vibes with Russ McKamey, who's the guy that runs McKamey Manor, who is quite clearly a sociopath. And David's like, oh, you're so charming. You're such a nice guy. And, like, sociopaths can be really charming. That's, like, part of the deal. Yeah. And so it's kind of, like, weird to watch him fall under this guy's spell because he presents himself as such a skeptical, rational journalist. And then here he is at Russ McKamey, like, wow, you're
it's a
pretty...
real serial situation.
It's 100% a serial situation. He's like Olivia Nuzzi to Russ McKamey's RFK Jr. And so that was like a little bit like, but the McKamey Manor, it's a big controversy because this guy seems to be, I can't tell you for sure, seems to be a piece of shit who gets off on hurting people.
Well, he found a way to make money on it, so that's
he
the
claims,
American dream.
He claims on this show that he makes no money on it.
Okay.
That the entry fee is a bag of dog food.
Is that true?
I didn't look it up. So I was talking to a guy who directed this movie Haunters. Have you seen that one? It's about home haunts. It's a documentary about people that do like elaborate home haunts. And he was talking about Russ McKamey and like how kind of not a good guy this guy is. It was kind of interesting. But I haven't done the full research. I just know that Russ McKamey and McKamey Manor is like a real problem. They got run out of San Diego. He's like in Missouri now or something, like where life is cheap, So anyway,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I recommend it at home. It just came out a couple of years ago. It's older now. It's definitely pre-COVID, but Dark Tourist, enjoyable show.
Check it out. I like watching the bad found footage movies on Tubi. I do that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that with yourself. Your life is so short. You have so little life left.
It's amazing.
You have so little time on this earth. You're an old man now. Look at you.
And nothing to do, so I might as well watch bad found footage movies.
Are you watching movies during the day now? Have you stopped sitting in front of your computer? You're still sitting in front of your computer?
On the weekend, sure, on the weekend.
But like weekdays, you're still maintaining discipline.
Yes.
Do you know what I got?
What'd you get?
Did we talk about this? I got The Brick.
Yes, we did. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, The Brick. It really making a difference in my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, my total screen time last week was down 2 hours average.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, my screen time is really high. So 2 hours is impressive for me. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So my goal is to cut it in half is the goal, to finally get it cut in half. So
what was your average use?
I don't want to say. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
For the past week, my average screen time average, 8.5 hours a day.
That's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job looking at my phone, yes.
Yeah.
I just have a
full-time job looking at your phone and not responding to my text.
That's the worst part, right? Is that I'm on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I can see you putting stuff on Instagram. I'm like, I know he saw this.
I know, but like I'm not like ready to reply yet, and then I forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, the thing with text is that you're in it's like somebody comes to your house in a lot of ways. Do you know what I mean?
I 100% get it. I'm making a joke. I do the same thing where people text me. I'm like, okay, I'll answer that in like 30 minutes.
I feel like, what's funny? I feel like I'd almost rather get a phone call than a text sometimes.
No, I would not.
See, I feel like a phone call, there's a warmth to the human voice experience, and also like there's a sense that this is going to end. A text exchange has no end.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they can keep texting you. Like, there's, like, no sense that, like, we're done with this. Like, that person can keep saying things. Yeah. With a phone call, you're going to hang up at some point. And you are somewhat in control of that. You'd be like, hey, listen, I don't have a lot of time to talk. What's up? You know? And then when the person says something, if you're interested in, you could talk as long as you want. Or you can go, oh, you know what? I'm so glad you asked that. You know, here's the answer. I got to go. We'll chat later. But, like, there's a definitive finale to a phone call. And when we're texting, you think that maybe it's over, and then all of a sudden there's another. You see the fucking dots at the bottom of the screen, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is not done yet, is it? This is still going."
Yeah.
So, that's sort of my take. That's my old man take. I'd almost rather get a phone call.
Well, we are Gen X.
We are.
We grew up with the phones.
We did grow up with the phones. Totally different. Totally different generation for us. Yeah. We got any news this week?
We do. We got a lot of news this week.
What do we got?
Scarlett Johansson is in talks for the Batman 2. I just got a text. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah. You summoned it. We summoned a text for you.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarjo.
Scarjo's texted me.
Who do you think she's playing?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, the big theories online are Andrea Belmont from Mask of the Phantasm, she would be the Phantasm. Or like a Vicky Vale type. Those are the two big theories.
She's too. I
Fairchild, I think, is the character.
I feel like. Here's the thing. Do you think that Hollywood's ready to do a romance where the woman is 15 years older than the man?
Well, this is. I mean, she doesn't look older than him. So that helps, I guess. They can just say they're the same age.
She definitely looks older than him. Not like I'm not being negative. He looks young. I mean, that's the thing. He looks young.
In Batman, when he's walking around as Bruce Wayne, he looks all gaunt and old. He's like,
really? I thought that he looked kind of young in the Batman.
No, he's got that dumb haircut.
Yeah, dumb emo haircut. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a kid's haircut.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
It's not a businessman's haircut.
Robert Smith still has it.
He doesn't have that haircut. He's got his hair standing up straight on end.
Oh, that's right. He's got it standing up straight.
So I don't know if she's a love interest. Maybe. Also, the thing is that Catwoman is not coming back for this movie, but she's technically still out there. I don't know. Do we want Batman having another love interest? I don't think I'm that interested. That was a very good romance, I thought. I really liked it.
Yeah, it was fine. It was all right.
I don't necessarily want it.
My theory is that she's going to play his mother in flashbacks.
That's actually very reasonable. That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That's a good theory. That's a very good theory.
Especially if they're doing Court of Owls and her family was part of the Court of Owls, I believe, in the comics, that they'll do that.
Well, her family in the movie, she wasn't in Arkham in the comics, was she? She is in the movie. She's in Arkham.
No, in the comics, she's what is her last name? I can't remember what her last name is.
But it's not Arkham.
No, it's not Arkham. Martha something. I don't know.
Stewart.
Sure.
His dad's Snoop Dogg.
Martha Kent. She had a lot of kids. She was all over the place in DC. Every superhero was Martha Kent's child.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, that there's casting going on is exciting.
Yes.
That's the biggest news that we have that this movie might actually be happening. They're actually looking to put actors in it.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's still not guaranteed. Still not guaranteed, yeah.
No. Especially now. Moving on, Leslie Odom Jr. Oh.
Now actually it's no problem. So here's the deal. I know that you had this on your news for later, but let's just get this out of the way right now. The Netflix buying Warner Brothers, they haven't bought it yet. So what happened is they won the right for an exclusive offer.
Yes.
And that has to go through the different boards and stuff like that. And then it has to go through regulators. Now, the regulator stuff, it's hard to know how long that's going to take because this is all crooked now.
Years.
Yes. Because it's all crooked now. Like normally you'd say this is going to take years, or months, many months, or years.
Because like Disney Fox took like 15 months or something like that.
Yeah, but that's a year and change, right? So, but like these days, because it's so crooked, because Trump just says yes or no, and then
he even said that he was asked about it today, and he said that's something that I'll have to make a decision on.
Yeah, which is not how it's supposed to go. Yeah.
No.
We don't live in we're not supposed to live in a country where that's the way that it works.
Yeah.
So the thing is that the regulator shit might happen overnight for all we know, but it still has to go through the board and stuff like that, and there's all this back and forth. It's gonna be probably a year before we get any real movement on it in any kind of way that we're going to hear about. So if that movie is shooting in the next year, it's totally okay.
Yeah.
And
I believe I read that the plan is first for the Warner Brothers split to happen,
right,
which is in like April, May, something like that, and then they start the process.
Yeah.
So it would be on top of that. So, it's a while off.
Yeah, it's a while off. So this movie, assuming it gets made next year, will get made under the old leadership still. And James Gunn's stuff is still happening under the old leadership, and I guess that they just signed a new contract taking them through 2027, which doesn't feel that far off in advance.
It's not, that article's not clear on that, because his contract, previously, reports were that the contract ended like October 2026. And that article, I forgot it was Deadline or Variety, whatever it was, said that it ends in like April 2027. So would you sign like a
6-month extension?
6-month extension? That doesn't make sense. I think it's just that's what maybe either that article's wrong or the contract is longer than we thought originally.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. It still doesn't seem that long though.
It was the same contract as Abdi and DeLuca, who just renewed theirs. It was like a 3-year contract.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go. But do you want to continue with the Netflix stuff, or
do you have more to say about the Netflix stuff?
What do you think? This was a discussion that Buddy Todd and I had. What do you think happens with DC Comics?
So I don't know what Netflix wants to do with all of the Warner stuff. That's the question. Like, they may sell it, they may not, because it's obviously an IP farm. The thing is that it remains an IP farm, and one of the ways that it remains an IP farm is that it makes new stories that they adapt. A number of the things that have been adapted have been recent stories. They're not reaching back to the 70s all the time. It doesn't cost that much, all told. Like, it
makes a slight profit.
Yeah. So I can imagine them not touching it for a minute. Like, I don't know what the long-term thing is, but I can see them just not touching it right away. Now, does that mean that there are still DC Comics in stores? I don't know. Like, I don't know that Netflix thinks that physical media in general makes sense anymore. They may make DC digital only. That might be their move with, like, trades. And they might license the trades out the way they do license Blu-rays out. When they do rarely make one, they license it out.
Shot Factory's done a couple.
Shot Factory, Criterion it does the Guillermo ones. So, and also Criterion did Irishman. So that might be what happens, that they end up, like, can you see the cat in the back here?
Yep.
There he is. He's hanging out. So they might just license out graphic novels or trade collections. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to know because we don't know 100% what Netflix's thought process is with Warner Brothers. Yeah. Right. And I did see somebody say that they think Netflix doesn't actually want to buy Warner Brothers.
Oh, no?
That they're hobbling competition.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what the deal is.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
So I think it's a very strange thing. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know 100%. It's obviously none of it's good.
Yeah. No, there's no good here.
So none of it's good. However, it's better. Although, you know what? Actually, the big problem here is that because they're spinning off the TV stuff, David Ellison could still buy CNN.
Sure.
When they split. And that was always a big fear, that Ellison and Paramount Skydance get a hold of CNN. Yeah. Because they bought CBS News, and fucking Barry Weiss is doing a town hall with Erica Kirk next week.
Yeah.
So we already have that kind of stuff. So, that's frightening. But I guess we're just going to have to see. I don't want to make too many like big guesses or proclamations, because I just don't know what their intentions are 100%.
Sure.
He has some thoughts, though.
He does. I hear Gus has been thinking about it.
He wants to go out the door, which I have closed. I'm going to have to let this guy out. Give me one quick second. Why don't you vamp? Why don't you say stuff here to the folks at home while I do this?
My belief is that they are going to essentially leave DC Comics alone, because it is a slight profit maker and it is a big IP farm. And like Devin said, many of the stories are based on newer things, not older things. and they're going to want to keep doing that kind of thing. They're going to want more and more IP coming out of DC, so they'll keep DC going, and plus they can use it for their own IPs. You know, like instead of licensing out Stranger Things and splitting the revenue with whoever, they can just do Stranger Things comics via DC, right? And like, you know, I can't think of any other shows they have right now. The Inside Man comics. I can't imagine they would do that, but you get what I'm saying. You know.
I think what's really interesting is that Netflix is ideologically against movie theaters, but apparently the Stranger Things screening in theaters sold out like immediately. Like it just straight sold out.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you the Wake Up Dead Man screening we went to yesterday after you guilted Shane into going.
Did I guilt him into going, or did he want to go?
Theory. That's my theory. I don't know. I didn't ask him, but that's my theory. It was like a 3:30 showing, and it was essentially sold out. It was very full.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be doing well.
First weekend, that movie was the highest grossing indie movie in theaters.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's in a
Does
limited...
it count as an indie movie?
Yeah, indie means not the majors, which is Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal,
Is
Fox.
Netflix not a major?
No, it's not a major. It doesn't release
It
movies
makes
into
more
theaters.
than all the others.
It doesn't release movies into theaters.
Okay.
We're talking about indie movies in terms of
Theatrical.
theatrical here. So, it made a ton of money. And you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if they had released this in a regular release, it would have made a lot more money. And I think this movie's so good that I think the word of mouth would have been off the fucking charts.
Yeah.
And it would have, again, I mean, F1 is the example that you look at. F1 this summer from Apple made a gazillion fucking dollars, man. That's just free money in a lot of ways for them.
Yeah.
And that is still going to drive people to the service. So,
Yeah. And I saw a report the other day that movies that are released theatrically do better on streaming.
Because they feel like you have to see them, right? That's the thing. You feel like this is a real movie, so I need to see it. Like that, the psychology of that is clear to me.
And also, you're seeing ads for it all the time for like months before.
Right.
Where Netflix, they just drop things out.
Right.
And like, here you go. Here's this thing. And you're like, oh, I guess I'll watch that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So who knows? Who knows? But I personally don't think that they'll really mess with DC Comics that much, just because it does make revenue, and it is such an IP farm. And you know, like,
I saw somebody, I can't remember what comic book artist it was on Facebook, said that with the new if Netflix buys it, one of the things that they should do, this makes a lot of sense, is pull back all of Warner Brothers licensed material to DC, the way that Disney has been doing at Marvel. So imagine that DC is publishing Lord of the Rings comics.
sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just like fucking go. Like, just take whatever it is, all of it. And that makes a lot of sense to me.
I agree. I fully agree.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Again, I don't know. And even DC Comics might be low on the priority list if the deal does go through. They might take them a minute to get to it. It may not be their number one thing.
Based on Warner Brothers history, within 5 years they'll be sold to somebody else.
Oh, somebody worse, actually. It's they consistently get sold to worse companies. That's the way that it
like
works.
Omnicorp soon, and you know, Wayland Yutani, and we'll go from there.
It's going to be sold to the ghost of Charlie Kirk. That's who's going to make the winning bid. All right, what else we got?
Leslie Odom Jr. will star in a horror movie about Sammy Davis Jr.'s ties to the Church of Satan.
It is like they made a movie for me.
That's why it's on the news.
That is amazing sounding. Sammy Davis Jr. did, in fact, belong to the Church of Satan here in Los Angeles, the Anton LaVey, the one that was kind of mostly about fucking.
Yeah, the one that was, I want to see some titties.
Yeah, well, I want to fuck is really what it was. And so the idea of taking that and then putting a horror movie around it, yes, 100%. And Sammy's amazing. And Leslie Odom Jr. doing a Sammy impression is going to be very funny. Do you know who does the greatest Sammy impression?
No.
Billy Crystal, unfortunately, does it in blackface. So it's a little bit of a problem.
That's a little rough.
It's really good, though.
Probably not going to cast him in this movie.
It would be amazing if they cast Billy Crystal in blackface.
If it was 1989, they might have. They've been like, he's hot right now off of Harry Met Sally and City Slickers.
But his Sammy's really good. But Sammy's such a great, weird character. He was Jewish, too.
Yes.
What a guy. What a guy. He's little, one eye, he's little. He was the butt of racist jokes from the Rat Pack. But also then he gave nasty jokes back to them. I mean, like, I'm not going to do one of these, like, back then everybody could make a joke. Yeah. But, like, that group did often give sometimes as good as they got. Not all of them. But, like, Dean... I mean, obviously nobody went
on Frank.
You didn't. Well, we found out how big Frank's dick was this past week, so that's why you couldn't.
See that.
Yeah. There was news about the size of Frank's hog. It's the skinny guys always have big dicks. That's the way that it works. It's just tradition. So tradition. Anyway, I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see what the story is. I can't wait to see how this works out. I will be there in theaters.
Yeah, it sounds fun. We got a new Boys trailer for the final season. And it's got a little nod to Supernatural in it, besides the two main guys from Supernatural being in it. And that's the song Renegade.
Yep.
Is used in the trailer, and that was a big song on that show.
So this trailer is really funny because it's the final season of The Boys. But it's all of the stakes look exactly the same as every other season of The Boys. And you watch it and you're like, okay, this is... I mean, like, my reaction to seeing anything on The Boys is how they're going to kick this one down the road. Like, it's like hard for me to even imagine the show wrapping something up. Like, it's... I mean, I like the show. But, like, very traditionally, the season ends and you're like, well, I guess these guys are just going to go back to doing what they were doing at the beginning of the season. Like... nothing changed here in a fundamental way. And, obviously not everybody's going to make it out of this alive, but a lot of people are because the Boys universe is a big moneymaker for Amazon.
Big moneymaker. They already said they're going to do more spin-offs. This is essentially, okay, let's clear the board of all the expensive people.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then we'll keep things going.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It was a good trailer, I thought. It was well done.
It would be funny, like, if in the show Butcher gets killed and somebody is like, wait, he can die? Like, all these years I thought that, like, there was no way that he could because he kept getting almost killed and then Homelander let him go every single time. Yeah, so... Yeah. I hope Homelander wins. I hope Homelander wins.
That would be an interesting move. To do. But we'll see.
I mean, he doesn't win in the comics, but if he just fucking vaporizes Yui at the end, I mean, like, it would feel like America today. It would feel correct.
Did you finish the second season of Gen Z?
No, I did not.
It's not good.
I mean, I made it a couple episodes in, and I really got that sense. Yeah.
I mean, it's something where it's like, it's so hard to gauge because it's not good, and it's not good because they lost one of the main cast members, tragically died between seasons, and so much of the season is them trying to work around that.
Yeah,
and that's a bummer, So there's a thing like when watching that, it's like, oh, this doesn't work because he's not there, and they have to like move around this problem, and that's too bad.
I mean, I felt also it didn't work because the show insisted that I remember what happened last season, and I just didn't.
That was a problem too.
I was like, wait, who is this?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was but I will eventually finish it at some point when I'm building Legos and have nothing else to watch.
There you go.
Yeah.
Out of CCXP, we got posters for Spider Noir and a look at Supergirl's costume.
Spider Noir poster's great.
It's very cool. I like it a lot. It
is
detective door.
Yep.
And he's behind it, and you see his eyes glowing. It looks very, very cool.
What's the name of the detective?
B. Riley, private investigator.
So it's not Peter Parker. Yeah.
Didn't we know that already?
Was he not Peter Parker in Spider-Verse? He's Peter Parker in the comics.
He's Peter Parker in the comics, but I think in Spider-Verse he was Ben Riley.
Was he?
I could be wrong.
I don't think we ever got... Maybe. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. Yeah, so it looks good. There was, I guess, a trailer shown, and the story that I heard is that his eyes do a lot of movement, which is great. We want this. That's what I read, but it may be wrong. These days, I don't know what... I no longer know what's true anymore.
No, it's hard to know.
I have a chat with my guy friends, and every now and again, I'll just pop something in there, and I'll go, is this AI? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, no, I need it to not be AI. Like, there was one about a hawk taking a little child off a playground. And he didn't take off. He was like dragging the kid along the ground. And I was like, I need this to be real. I need this kid to actually have been snatched by a hawk. But it was very good. You know, the Banana Nano, whatever it is, the new one, really makes very good stuff.
Yeah.
I watched fundamentally impossible to tell.
I watched a video of a guy breaking down that supposed behind like set leak from Doomsday. And it's one of the Russo brothers and Toby and Hugh Jackman and Pedro Pascal. And they're standing there in front of a camera and they're talking and there's like workers behind them and stuff. And the guy was like, to look at this, the average person would look at this and say, this is real. It's very hard to tell it's AI. And then he starts going through the things that hint at it's AI. And it's interesting. Like, he's like, look at the camera. And this is the wrong kind of camera for the movie. We know what camera they're using. This is not the right camera. So that's, you know, somebody that knows the technical specs of these things would catch that right away. And then somebody who's a bricklayer may notice that the building in the background, the bricks are off. And it's like, oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some of these behind the scenes photos that are AI generated, and it's stuff like the AI doesn't know where things go on a movie set. So I saw one where the monitor is just like in the middle of the shot, and it's like, well, that clearly can't be real. Like, the monitor doesn't go there. That's just not where the monitor goes, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's getting very challenging at this point, and
it's terrifying.
Also, I just really wanted to see a kid getting taken away by a hawk. You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to see that. Like,
that'd be fun.
I was invested in this, and it was like very well done. Like, there was the family was running after the kid, and the camera work was realistically shaky. And in the modern world, I no longer question if somebody continues to film this, because we've seen so much of that. You're like, your child's falling off a building. Why are you still filming this? Like, what are you doing? But we've seen so much of this that we know that's how it works. So
yeah. Well, there you go. Look out for that. And then finally, news: both Avengers and Supergirl will have teasers this week on the 11th. It looks like. And Supergirl got an ad for the teaser that showed a little 10 seconds of something.
Yeah, her sitting on like a bus bench.
Coming down.
Yeah, she's hungover. She got the big glasses, big sunglasses, and
she's wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, and there's a ship coming down. So I'm interested. I imagine that Doomsday trailer is going to be nothing.
I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do, because it's going to be in front of Avatar, right? Although no, I guess not. If it's coming out this week.
Well, isn't Avatar coming out this
Christmas week? No, it comes out Christmas, right?
No, I think Avatar comes out this week or next. Maybe next week.
Christmas.
We're looking this up right now. The 19th, so it's next week.
Yeah. Okay.
So, which is Christmas, I guess, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be. I mean, my guess is that it's going to be like a reveal of Doctor Doom, but that's going to be mostly it. You know what I mean? They're also re-releasing Endgame in theaters in September.
Yes. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Doomsday is a direct sequel to Endgame. So, you know, the last, 6 years of them being like, all of this is important to what we're doing. Not so much.
Except all those characters are 100% in the movie. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, not all of them, but like a bunch of them. Like, we know that like the Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Shang-Chi, they're all in it. So I think that's fine. I don't feel, I mean, I know that they got kneecapped. Like, they didn't, this is not where they planned on going, but those many of those characters are in this movie. So
yeah.
Yeah, big discussion on the Discord about what it might mean that this is a direct sequel to Endgame. And a lot of people online are saying that it's because Captain America stayed in the past with Peggy and created a timeline that got fucked up. And maybe that's the Fantastic Four Earth or something like that. That's interesting. Our Discord folks do not like that. I don't mind that, because I have been on the Captain America fucked up by staying in the past train since the movie came out. Yeah. So if the next film is like Avengers, Devin was right, then Dr. Doom's whole thing is like, why didn't Steve Rogers stop 9/11? If that's the deal, then I feel pretty good, man. I feel pretty good. Like, why is JFK dead? Why, if Captain America stayed back here, why is JFK dead? Right? Like, yeah. So I'm okay with that.
We'll find out soon enough. Yeah, and that's the news.
We got any letters this week?
We do. We got long letters this week. So
Oh boy, making Derek read. Oh, Derek got a cough.
Clear my throat.
Do a throat clear.
Christopher says, "Hello, Faraci brothers. Longtime listener, first-time emailer. Just listened to your Watchmen 6th episode pod, and toward the end, Devin was discussing the importance of Hooded Justice retcon. He made multiple mentions of Alan Moore being ignorant of or turning a blind eye to American racism in the original comic because of his British background. I was wondering if he's ever read the 2016 interview Moore did with Brazilian writer Rafael Sasaki, in which Moore claims Birth of a Nation is the first American superhero movie. I've always felt like Lindelof's entire premise of the Watchmen show was based on this one offhanded remark Moore gave regarding the legacy of Watchmen and superhero comics ties to American racism. The superheroes themselves, and this is a quote, the superheroes themselves, largely written and drawn by creators who have never stood up for their own rights against the companies that employ them, much less the rights of Jack Kirby or Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, would seem to be largely employed as cowardice compensators, perhaps a little bit like the handgun on the nightstand. I would also remark that, save for the smattering of non-white characters and of white creators, these books and these iconic characters are still very much white supremacist dreams of the master race. In fact, I think that a good argument can be made that for D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation is the first American superhero movie and the point of origin for all these capes and masks. So said Alan Moore. What do you think? Is this interview given a few years before the show's production the seed for which Lindelof's idea grew? Thanks.
You know what? It could be. That actually, really, I had never heard that quote, and it very well could be. I think that this quote is a little dumb. There's stuff about it that I do agree with. I think the argument that Birth of a Nation is the first superhero movie is a really interesting argument to be made, in that it is about masked men taking justice, quote unquote, into their own hands, because it's about the Klan, right? So, like, I think that's an interesting argument. Like, I'm not saying that in a positive way, but like, if we're academically breaking things down, I think there's like life in that concept. My big problem with what he's saying here is the idea, and it's not even central to his point, but it really derails me, that the creators never stood up for themselves or for the ones that came before them. And I think that the thing that Moore is not aware of, or he is aware of it, he's
definitely aware of it,
is that like these were in the beginning largely Jews. And they were people who were living in a society where the idea of standing up in that way meant you got replaced. They were not in a unionized environment, and it was harder I think that would have been a much harder world to unionize at the time than, say, the coal mines, because quite frankly, if the guy didn't want to write Captain Mayhem or whatever, they just get a new guy to come in and write, because they didn't care about the quality of this shit. Yeah. That was never the concern. And so that does not put a lot of power in the hands of creatives. Like, when nobody cares about the quality of this shit, the creative actually has a limited amount of power. But I just think that, like, there's like a sense of privilege in being like, why didn't these guys stand up for themselves? And it's because the system was against them from the start. And the best way to not get work anymore in these situations was to stand up for yourself. I mean, that just is the honest to God truth. That's why it took so long, and it's still not great. Yeah. Like, these days, it's a better position to be in as a creator at a comic book company, but even they're still getting fucked over left and right.
Oh, for sure.
And
the co-creator of Miles Morales this week was talking about how she has never
seen a dime.
Penny,
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's horrible. And so, like, within that really aggravates me in that quote. Like, it, and again, I also think there's an academic argument to be made that superheroes are the Aryan ideal. They are the big buff man. They harken back to very macho morals where might makes right. That's very much at the heart of the superhero. And again, I think that his argument that The Birth of a Nation is the first superhero movie is a really interesting one, and it's one I'm going to think about a lot, because I think it is really fascinating. And I think that especially if you're coming at the superhero genre from a critical standpoint, that is really, really meaningful. But the rest of it was just nonsense. Just like, it's real victim blaming to be like, these guys were complicit. It's like, no, they weren't, man. Like, That's just the deal. Like, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like that kind of thing when you're a British guy that's got some money, not knowing what it's like to be a New York City guy scrambling for work in the 1940s and 50s. It just seems, I don't know.
Especially at the time, Jewish writers could not get work elsewhere.
I mean, they could.
Yeah, they could, but it was hard. It was really hard.
In New York, not so much.
No,
Listen,
I mean, this is one thing a lot of them have discussed and has been written about, is that a lot of these guys ended up writing comic books because they could not, because they were Jewish, they weren't considered for other writing jobs.
Yeah, I mean, that is partially the case. I think also, though, there was a lot of writing jobs back then, and people wrote under pen names and stuff. I don't know how much of a problem that was. I mean, Jews really were a humongous part of the culture in this period. Like, when you realize that all of our best Christmas songs were written by Jews, is in that period, like it's in the 20s to the 50s. You begin to realize that you'd have to change your name. Like, that would be part of the deal. But I do think there might have been other opportunities. I also wonder if some of these guys just couldn't hack it elsewhere. But
I mean, that's part of it as well, for sure. You know, there's some rough writers out there.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's just still never great. Like, it is not great to look at a group that is largely more oppressed than your group, and then to say you're very complicit or whatever.
Yeah.
Although there's a really interesting aspect to that.
With his argument. But
do you have a problem with the Birth of a Nation stuff?
Yeah, I don't think that makes any sense.
Why not?
For one thing, superheroes were masked. Vigilantes were around before superheroes. The superheroes were not the first to do this.
Yeah, no, I know, but Birth of a Nation is really old.
I know, but I'm saying it's there, and then to sit there and be like, oh, it's a white supremacist dream created by all these Jewish writers and artists. That doesn't fit very well.
Well, I think what's really interesting is that this is a thing that I find very interesting in terms of like media critique, which is that the values of the larger culture will infiltrate everybody. And so when somebody who is part of an out group is creating something for the larger culture, they will use elements of the larger culture's morals and vision. And so that's why we end up with superheroes who are... The very fascinating thing is that we moved from the pulp heroes who were detectives in masks to these buff guys. That's the big leap in a lot of ways, right? And so that's really interesting. What informs that decision to start doing buff guys? And it is part of, you could argue that it's part of the larger American white supremacist perfection of the body thing. Because a lot of the early pulp heroes who were masked heroes and forerunners of superheroes, they are like athletic, etc., but they aren't those perfect, like Superman being the perfect specimen of mankind. It's really interesting because, the Ubermensch is definitely a Nazi concept, and Ubermensch means...
And I mean, the original concepts of Superman were Nazi. He was very Nazi-ish. But I think that's part of the issue too. Superman being definitively the first superhero, he doesn't wear a mask. That breaks it right there. His whole thing is that he's not masked.
But he is masked. That's the thing. He has a secret identity.
He's got a secret identity, but he's not masked.
His mask is backwards. He wears a mask as Clark Kent. It's a reversal on the thing. He wears something to obfuscate his identity as Clark Kent. So I think that is...
I know what you're saying, but I think that very much goes against what he's saying. Superman is not masked. The Flash.
He's not saying it's the first superhero. He's saying it's the first superhero movie, isn't he?
He's saying it's the first superhero. Yeah, but like, what I'm saying is the concept of the superhero is not definitively guy in mask. There's a lot with masks. There's a lot without masks.
There's a lot with masks. I would say mostly masks.
Probably, yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't think he's wrong there. Mostly masks. That's like the whole premise of the show that we're watching on this program right now.
Yes. No, very much so. Very much so. But I think he is looking at this, his entire statement to me reads very edgelord. And there's also a part of the statement where I'm like, hey, motherfucker, you were in there. What did you do? You're going to complain nobody did anything. You didn't do anything. Nobody was creating characters of color. You didn't create any characters of color. Like, what did you do? You didn't do it. You didn't help. You didn't change anything. You know. So I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like Alan Moore. It's definitely one part of the problem.
You don't like critique. That's the thing. You don't like critique of the genre.
No. I very much like critique of the genre. I don't like critique of the genre like this, where it's somebody sitting there saying all of it is bad. It's bad, and that's it. He's not critiquing the genre. He's trying to show, like I said, to me, it reads very edgelord. You know, he knows, saying like, "Oh, Birth of Nations is the first American."
Oh no, he's definitely doing. So,
Yeah.
He definitely knows he's going to get a reaction from that. I mean, that's not he's not dumb. But I think that I think it's a real argument, though. I don't think that this is just nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like a real argument to be made here. I think there's a better argument to be made here than Batman and Robin are gay, frankly, which is like one of those things that everybody's just internalized as like a quote unquote critique irony thing for the genre. I think there's a better argument to be made that the connection between the Ku Klux Klan and superheroes, that there is a line between them. I think there's a better argument to be made there than, and that, you know, the argument here is that it's masked guys enacting justice in their own way, on their own, and that the people they are enacting justice against almost every time is going to be somebody lower than them in some way. Not always, obviously, because especially now we have so many examples. But throughout history, most of the original superheroes were like rich guys. Like you can't throw a rock without finding a fucking rich guy putting a mask on back then.
Oh no, they're all yeah.
And so like that's like part of the deal. Now obviously everything grows over time, right? But like one of the things that ends up making Spider-Man fucking so many years later special is he's poor.
Yeah,
like that's really unusual still. And even now nobody's poor in comics. They don't have money problems anymore because they don't have personal lives in the same way.
Personal lives anymore. Yeah.
So they all like live in like teens or whatever. Like they're all like living in communes of some sort or whatever.
Wally West lives in a house with his wife and 3 kids. Thank you.
He got dough though.
They have money. It's been brought up that they have money problems, but it's not a bit like he's got a job. He works for Mr. Miracle's company as like a janitor, and Linda is a reporter, and they make it work, is how it's put in the comics. But they rarely focus on that. It's very rare that.
Why does he have a job?
Wally West?
Yeah.
Because he's got 3 kids to feed.
Why the Justice League doesn't have a stipend of some sort?
I guess not. I don't know.
That seems crazy. Also, Wally West
There was like a year or 2 in the comics where there was no Justice League. So
he now has a secret identity?
Yeah, he's got a secret identity. He's had it for quite a long time now.
Is that like a post-crisis thing? He had no secret identity.
It was during the Jeff Johns run.
This is a Flashpoint thing?
No. This is well before Flashpoint. Zoom, knowing, because he had no secret identity, and Zoom knowing that Wally West was the Flash, attacked Linda and caused her to have a miscarriage. And then Wally went to Hal Jordan, who at the time was the Spectre, and he was like, "Can you make everyone forget that I'm the Flash?" And the Spectre's like, "Sure," but by doing that, he also made Wally forget that he was the Flash. And the only person who remembered was Batman, because Batman knew he forgot something, which was stupid.
No, I get that, because I'm all the time, I'm like, I know I forgot something. I know I was supposed to do something right now. Batman has ADHD, it turns out.
Yeah. Batman, like, being able to know that, like, I've been magicked. It was kind of annoyed me in that story. And then Batman figures out that Wally West was the Flash and whatnot.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, comic books. Anyway, all right, what's our next question?
Andre says, "Hey, gents. My first bit is a comment, not a question. I'm listening to an inaugural episode of the Omniverse, rest in peace Marvel Vision, and I have to say the opening bit is one of the funniest Derek has done. Well done, sir. Thank you. Question, you both mentioned that the Lone Ranger and Zorro are among the first iterations of superheroes in America. Where, if at all, would Mexican luchadors fit in with that context or history?"
Great question, and one I've given a lot of thought to today. And
according to Alan Moore, they're part of the white supremacist plan.
So so here's the deal. So the first, like the generalized sort of accepted original character who maps onto what we think of as superheroes, i.e. someone who had a mask and had a secret identity, that is going to be the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yeah.
And that's in the early 1900s, like 1903. Created by a woman, by the way. So there's a real argument to be made that superheroes are created by women. Now, the luchador phenomena began in the early 20th century in Mexico, and I don't know exactly when. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I don't know much about luchadors. So.
But I do know that masks have been... Not every Mexican wrestler wears masks, but masks have been part of it, and it goes back to Aztec stuff. Like, Mexican culture is really interesting because so much of it does reach back to pre-colonial things, even if it's stuff that reaches back in a way that not everybody's aware of is connected to that. So, but I'm gonna say something.
1860s. It goes back to
Luchador,
according to this. Yeah.
I thought it was the 20th century, but that makes. Anyway. Maybe, yeah. But I'm gonna say that the guys that were working on superheroes did not have any knowledge of luchadors. That's my take. My take is that those guys just did not know this stuff. Like, it was not in their circle. These guys all lived in New York, and there's an episode of Watchmen where Don Draper goes to California and has Mexican food for the first time, and that's very real in New York. Yeah. Like, New York has a large Hispanic population, but it's going to be all Puerto Rican and Dominican, and until recently there were pretty much minimal Mexican folks living in New York. Like, you just didn't run into them as much. And you still looking up luchadors?
Yes, I have some info on that.
What
1860s was when Mexican wrestling began. While there were previous versions, the first like big masked luchador was the Masked Marvel in 1915.
Yeah. So same year as Birth of a Nation, by the way.
There you go.
Interesting, huh? Very interesting.
Lindelof's going to hear this and be like, Watchmen Season 2, I've got it now.
I've got it. But so I just don't think that these guys were plugged into the luchador. I just don't think they probably had ever heard of it. They might have come across it in some magazine, you know what I mean? Like some random magazine, but I just don't.
But two kids in Cleveland, unlikely.
I just don't think so, yeah. So I think this is parallel development, I think, is what we're looking at here. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at parallel
shared
development.
Consciousness, if you want to get weird with it.
Yeah, or I mean, I don't want to discount the fact that perhaps that guy who was the first masked luchador read the Scarlet Pimpernel. Like, I don't want to discount that. That's possible. It might still be the Scarlet Pimpernel. Scarlet Pimpernel also is English, by the way. So an English woman created superheroes, the most American of all genres. It would be the argument that we make here. Stan Lee once said that the Scarlet Pimpernel is the grandfather of all superheroes.
And Bob Kane as well.
Yeah.
Talked a lot about Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yeah, that was like one of those characters that meant a lot to that generation that nobody has a fucking clue about now. Not the slightest. So I think it's parallel development. I think that's the thing. And parallel development could be shared consciousness. It's all the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's conceptually the same. So yeah, I don't think that there's like a real connection. I think it's interesting, and I think it's really fascinating, and I kind of love that, like, these things were all boiling around the same time. But
I love that the luchadors, the masked luchadors, go so far as to like be like Batman about it, where like they never appear in public.
Oh no, Santo never took off his mask until he was a very old man. Yeah, he was buried in his mask.
Yes, but I'm saying, like, he would go to other people's funerals
in his mask. Yes. No, Santo was real. Like, Santo was real about it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty
wild.
So it's probably nice for him though, because he gets to just do whatever he wants.
Yes,
he gets to just go to the store.
Yeah, he can go have a meal with his family and nobody knows.
Nobody's going to give him a hard time, yeah.
Yeah. What if even his family never saw his face?
What if that was his deal? Oh, no, he was Santo to his family, too?
Yeah. like he's in the shower wearing the mask.
It's actually amazing.
That would be great. That'd be great. But yeah, I don't know too much about luchadors, but I've always appreciated the look and the design and stuff. I've always enjoyed it. Ben says, hello, Super Faraci brothers. As a white guy from Arizona, I had never had a lot of cultural interaction with Italian people. So I'd like to ask you two burning controversial question about a song from 1988 by Weird Al Yankovic titled Lasagna, a parody of La Bamba. In the song, Al sings in an exaggerated Italian accent about feeding the listener pasta until they become as big and round as Cousin Luigi. My question, is this song racist? I've included the lyrics to the song below in case you don't remember it by heart. Please give your critique as two of my top 5 favorite Italian Americans, ahead of the Mario Brothers, but behind Steve Buscemi. Yeah, it's hard to beat Steve. And then here I have the lyrics. I can read them out if you want.
Go ahead, sing it to the theme of La Bamba.
No,
La lasagna.
Yeah, la 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 lasagna. You want some lasagna magnifico or maybe spaghetti? Your supper's already now. Where you go, Mamma mia, bambino, Mamma mia, bambino. Some out of you, some out of you, some out of you. You should have tasted my lasagna. Like a lasagna, that's okay too. How about a calzone? Some nice minestrone. That's good for you. Have some marinara. Have some marinara. I know what you like. I know what you like. I know what you like. Lasagna, lasagna, lasagna. Would you like some zucchini or my homemade linguine? It's hard to beat. Have a more fettuccine. You getting too skinny. You gotta eat. Manja. You pass the lasagna. Don't you get any anya, you sloppy pig. Have a more ravioli. You will get roly-poly, a nice and a big, like you cousin Luigi, capisci pajan, la lasagna, hey. Thank you.
You want the funny answer or the real answer?
Both.
Funny answer, yes, it's very racist and it's highly offensive. The real answer is I don't think that ethnic humor is racist inherently. And there obviously is a history of racism against Italians in America, and I think that actually is like going to come back, frankly, like in the modern world where the white supremacists are getting more and more granular about ethnicity and whiteness. I think that Italians will lose potentially, if things keep going the way they're going. The Italians will lose.
Finally, my chance to be put down.
Italians will lose some of the whiteness that they got finally in the back half of the 20th century, because in the first half of the 20th century, Italians were not white.
No.
And in fact, in Louisiana, they were lynching Italians. But I also think that the thing is, I think that Italian accent and Italian stuff like that as part of novelty songs has a long history. Louis Prima, who's one of the great Italian musical artists, his stuff is it is close to novelty a lot of the time, but it's amazing. It's great, and it's Louis Prima would sing that song. You know what I mean? Like, that is not a song that I don't think that he would turn his nose up at that particular song. No. And because some of his songs definitely are really. Like when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. I mean, that's, so the thing is, I think that there's a history of that. I think that ethnic jokes are not inherently racist. And I think
intent, it matters.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I think that if you count as white, I think that a joke about your individual ethnicity cannot be racist.
Yeah.
Is my general take on that. That's my generalized take. I mean, the funny thing is to, oh my God, the racism against Italians, how dare you? I do think it's kind of funny that Italians do get to be the lazy brunt of jokes now. You know what I mean? Sure. People can't do other funny accents, so they do Italian accents. And it's lazy. Like, I don't think it's always that interesting. Every now and again, there's like, people that do it really funny and stuff like that. But I think what's really interesting, I think that part of the continued mimetic popularity of The Sopranos is that Italian are funny. Like, there's something funny about Italians in general, and as an ethnicity, there's a lot to laugh at. And I think that that's part of the continued mimetic popularity of The Sopranos. Yeah, besides the fact it's a great show, I think it's one of the reasons. So
I would agree. I don't think it's racist. I think it's a goofy song. I don't think Weird Al is looking to hurt people's feelings. I think he was just like, oh, La Bamba sounds like lasagna. And he just
maybe he is. Weird Al wore a fat suit in the Eat It video, and that's the kind of thing that you get in a lot of trouble for now.
He only recently stopped wearing it on stage, didn't he? Like, he won't do the song anymore?
Really? That's too bad. He should still do it, and it's still funny. I saw somebody, a fat activist on Instagram, complaining that the meters in WeHo, the parking meters, they have stickers that say, "We go on a diet on the weekends. Please don't feed us," and saying that was fatphobic. I think it's just a play on the
stretch.
fact that we say feeding the meter. Like it's like a play on that, you know? So
Yeah, I think that's a stretch.
yeah. But now that I'm not so fat anymore, I don't know if I get to weigh in on that stuff anymore.
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still overweight. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm not like fat like I used to be.
Yeah.
So my
Hard to
BMI still says I'm overweight.
Yeah.
So
Does it say obese? That's the question.
it says you fat pig. It says you disgust me. Is what it said. My BMI says you're disgusting. No, that's just my brain that says that. Okay, if people want to have their
put the M in BMI.
if people want to find out what where they can send their letters to, where is that?
They can go to, they can email ask.cinema.sangha@gmail.com. In the subject line, put what show you want it for, be it Across the Omniverse or Bad Batch. And then one question per email, please. And while you're at it, why not go over to YouTube, look up Cinema Sangha, subscribe to our channel, like our videos. I'd appreciate it. It'd be very nice of you. Thank you.
That would be very nice of you.
I'll make you a video you won't watch.
Too fucking true, man. Too fucking true. All right, you ready to talk about the next episode of HBO's Watchmen?
Let's do it.
Watchmen, season only, episode 7, An Almost Religious Awe. That is a quote from the comic, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that's when Dr. Manhattan is talking about him in Vietnam, that the villagers would look up at him with terror and an almost religious awe. And that is very fitting because this episode is highly concerned with the events of Dr. Manhattan in Vietnam. This episode, you know, it's really funny. Every now and again I watch this show, and
Hopefully every week you've been watching the show.
but I'm saying when I'm watching, yes, every week so far I have. But I watch it, and every now and again I'm like, this is like really a sequel to the comic book. Like, it is like kind of insane. Every now and again my brain goes, oh, this is like hardcore a sequel. Like, this is very much the deal. And I'm kind of fascinated by that. Like, it's sometimes
it's much more comic booky than the comic book in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, yeah, very much so. Especially this episode. There's some comic book shit in this episode that's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, like, it's like very fascinating to me that like there's a whole episode about Dr. Manhattan in Vietnam, and way more than the comic puts any thought into it. Yep. Like this episode gives us more information about Vietnam as a state than the comic. It's just an offhanded thing in the comics. It's just like, wow, look at what this world is like. Vietnam's a state, you know what I mean? And now it's like, wow, this is really something else. Anyway, we open up in Vietnam. And we open up in Vietnam in like 1970 something. Is it? Do we know? Does it say what year it is?
I thought it was.
It was the 80s. It was the 80s. You're right,
80s,
because it's after the squid. You're right. It's the 80s because we have the burgers and borscht, which tells us that. And also, it's So okay, so Vietnam's been a state for a minute then in this case. And
we start with a voiceover for a 10-hour long Dr. Manhattan documentary.
Yes, real Ken Burns shit over here. I wonder if they wanted to get Ken Burns.
Would he have? I don't know when Ken Burns started making documentaries. Would he?
He was making documentaries. Yeah, you know, he was. Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. And the documentary, there's a standee for it, and it's a Dave Gibbons image.
Yeah.
It's a real Dave Gibbons. So we get like some stuff about Dr. Manhattan's origins, which is kind of fun. But also, like, for people who don't know jack shit about this comic book, feels like it's important information.
Yeah. And it made me question something I never questioned before.
What's that?
Dr. Manhattan was created at the Gila Flats Army base.
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever run into the giant Gila monster? That's it? Nothing? All right. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny gag.
You should have appeared as the giant Gila monster for this segment. That would have
Waka waka.
That would have done it. I think that would have sold it. Like, hey, it's me, the giant Gila monster. Let me tell you about that time I ran into
But
Dr.
you got angry
Manhattan.
without changing voices. Otherwise,
Well, you had to have a mask on like you did in the first episode, which you just got complimented on. You'd have to have gone out and bought a Gila monster mask, or done makeup. You could have done makeup, I think.
well,
And
I wrote this down in my notes today, so no time. And I don't have right now. I don't have a job. I don't have the $40 to spend on a Gila monster mask.
you priced them. I see. You priced the Gila monster.
Guessing what it would cost.
So we see young Angela Abar. She's looking through the videos. One of the videos is fog dancing. We talked about fog dancing as a novel that was being read by the mother who couldn't have a kid. Lady True bought their, and that's a reference to the Watchmen comic. The movie adaptation of fog dancing is directed by David Cronenberg.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So Angela comes to this video called Sister Night.
There's also a Silk Spectre softcore porn.
Yes, which seems related to the Tijuana Bibles that we saw in Watchmen the comic about Silk Spectre, which she loved.
Yeah.
Laurie thought it was horrible, but Sally thought it was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's called Sister Night, and it's The Nun with a Motherfucking Gun is the movie. PDpedia gives us a lot of information about this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, so in PDpedia, we learn that post-Vietnam becoming a state, a number of black Americans moved to Vietnam in an attempt to get away from the inherently racist United States of America. My guess is that things are not much better in Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like, just my guess.
Yeah.
This episode seems to make it clear that it's not always so great. But as a result, there became this whole pop culture thing that grew up in Vietnam around black movies, and especially black superhero movies that were being produced right around the time of the Keene Act, and they're called Black Mask movies. And Sister Night is one. And I guess there's no DVDs. There's definitely no streaming because there's no internet in Watchmen.
Yeah.
And he can't see it, but he goes to the Ebert movie guide and reads Ebert's review, which he reproduces a lot of. I think Ebert gave it a much better review in this alternate reality than he would in real life, frankly. And then at the end, it turns out that Will Reeves bought a movie theater in New York City, and every Sunday at midnight, he plays Sister Night.
Oh, really?
And he started playing that movie every Sunday at midnight the year that Angela became Sister Night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So, and Petey's like, I'm thinking about going to New York and seeing this movie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's some interesting background that is given here. So she wants to rent it. She's a kid. The guy that owns the store is like, you're not going to be able to watch this, right? And she's like, just, take my money. And he's like, I'll be here when you got to return it. And she goes out, and it is Victory in Vietnam Day. So it is the day that is celebrated, the quote unquote liberation of Vietnam.
Yeah.
So there's Dr. Manhattans everywhere.
Is Dr. Manhattan the primary economy of Vietnam?
No, it's just this is Vietnam Victory Day.
But later on, we see young Angela in the orphanage painting Dr. Manhattan toys, like en masse, so they're clearly being made to be sold.
But they're probably being made to be sold for Victory in Vietnam Day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to have your huge amount of Dr. Manhattan toys ready for that. Like, it's like a all-year production kind of a thing.
Sure.
Also, I mean... I think that's probably... Also, I think it's just thematics. Thematics is part of the deal. Like, obviously Dr. Manhattan is looming at all times in this episode. So she goes out, sees her parents, and her dad is a vet, or he's in the military, and her mom is there, and they tell her you can't watch this movie until you're older, and you got to return it. So she turns around to go return it. She catches her eye. There's a puppet show. It's a Dr. Manhattan puppet show. Remember in the comic, Laurie asks John, are you just a puppet? Because John's always like, so it is. And he goes, we're all puppets. I just happen to be a puppet that can see his strings. Yeah, I can see the strings. So that's 100% a reference to that. But she sees that this guy gives some dude on a bike a backpack, and then the dude on a bike goes riding off, and he ends up blowing up. He says death to the invaders, and he ends up blowing up a Jeep and killing her parents. But part of that I want to talk about here
is Angela's amazing detective skills at age 10.
I mean, that seems...
And I'm not even saying that as like a joke. I'm saying like I like that as part of her character.
Yeah, but also those guys seem shady as shit. Like
sure, but she's a 10-year-old kid. I find it very I like that. Like, of course, detective is in her blood, right? It's the Reeves family and all that. Like,
her grandmother says that later. Yeah, like of course you want to be a cop.
Yeah, I like that.
But also she's flashing between memories. She's still having memories of her grandfather, and we're flashing between this and the Tulsa Race Massacre. Yep. And I think what's really interesting, though, is the idea that they're the bad guys.
Yes.
That it's not that the Vietnamese are the bad guys. It's that her parents and her are the bad guys. That even though like there's like a lot of back and forth between who is being compared to who in the flashbacks, back and forth, the general sense is, oh, this is an oppressed people. And then so the idea that like this guy, the guy that gives the puppeteer, his face is all fucked up.
He's got a big scar, and it's not like they target her parents.
Well, they target the military.
Yeah, they target the military.
Yeah, they target the military, and it is death to the invaders is what the guy yells. So it's like really interesting because it really is super complex, and this is a thing that we argued about last week. But one of my favorite things about Watchmen is the moral complexity, and that the question of are certain sacrifices worth it to make something good happen? Do the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? Or is, Captain Kirk right? The needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many. And so it's like really fascinating to me the way that it plays out here, because the show is intercutting stuff from her grandfather's life with this in a way that feels very pointed. And I am deeply, deeply fascinated by that. She falls out of her bed in Lady True's compound, and Lady True is there. She's like, "Oh, you fell out of your bed again?" And basically, we get a whole thing where Lady True's like, Angela keeps coming to and asking the same questions again and again and again. Real dementia patient shit. And Lady True is like kind of sick of it, but is still answering the questions, but she's answering them early. She's like, now you're going to ask me this. Yeah. And so Lady True gives her a shot. She tells her that the nostalgia is being pumped out of her. And then she gives her a shot to tell her a story about it. And then we have this like weird hallucination that she has. It's basically an infomercial in her brain, which awesome. I thought was really cool.
It's real Matrixy.
Yeah, it's really Matrixy. And it's like, you have overdosed on nostalgia.
No, you have taken someone else's nostalgia.
He's taking someone else's nostalgia, yeah. And so she learns that they're pumping somebody else's spinal fluid into her, and that's it's a long process, but it's a living donor has to pump their spinal fluid in, and she automatically assumes that it's her grandfather. And so she wants to see him, but Lady True's like, no, I don't think you should, because here's the deal. You're still figuring it out, and you don't know where you end and he begins. You still have his memories. So it's probably best for you not to see him. And Lady True's like, oh, but why did you fall out of your bed? What was the memory? And Angela's like, it was my 10th birthday. My parents gave me a pony. And I like that very much.
Yeah.
Cal comes to the facility. He knows that Angela's there. She's been there for a few days at this point now. He shows up. They won't let him in. Pirate Jenny and Red Scare are like on stakeout there. And the guards won't let Cal in, but they bring out a hologram ring. And Beyond, the little clone girl, comes on the hologram. And it's like, sorry, you can't come in, can't see her. And because we're doing the millennial clock in 12 hours, nobody can come on campus at all. So, good luck. And then basically disappears, leaving poor Cal. It says Angela's doing great. She's responding really well to the treatment. But, unfortunately, it's just not going to work. And then we cut to Laurie listening to recordings of Angela, which I told you last week from the PDpedia.
Yes. It doesn't fit with what was said last week, and I'm confused by it.
What do you mean?
Because last week, the whole thing was that Angela couldn't move except for blinking her eyes, but here she is talking the entire time.
No, I don't think that is 100% what was happening.
I mean, that's what...
They said blink your eyes if you can hear me.
Yes, but she also said you can't move.
Well, yeah, but you can talk without moving.
I guess.
Like
I feel like you got to move your jaw.
Yeah, I think that they mean like your body can't move, and also she might very well be fucking strapped down at that point. She can't move, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But yes, the PDpedia was right.
Laurie's really good with that tape recorder because she never comes in mid-word.
Yeah,
she's always right at the start of a sentence. Very impressive.
Yeah,
really
I know.
Impressive work.
I know. So she's listening, and we hear about Cyclops, and she hears about Judd being hung. She gets a phone call from Dale, or a walkie-talkie call from Dale Petey, and he's like, "Hey, remember how you asked me to go check in on Looking Glass to see if he's actually 7th Cavalry?" She's like, "Yeah, I know. I just sent you." He goes, "I'm pretty sure he's not." And she's like, "Why?" "Well, because there's 5 7th Cavalry guys here, and they're all pretty fucking dead." But one of the guys isn't wearing a mask. Who's the guy without a mask? I didn't remember him.
I did not recognize his face. I don't know.
Yeah, I could not tell if I was supposed to know.
The driver with the lettuce truck?
I don't know.
Something I can imagine would pop out, right?
I don't know. But as we'd see that Laurie's hanging out watching a woman ride a horse towards her, and it turns out that it's Judd's wife. And Laurie is sort of, I guess, knows what Jane Crawford's horse riding schedule is. So she's like kind of cut her off so that Jane will talk to her. And they go into the house, and Laurie's like, "Hey, so listen, I found out who killed your husband." And it turns out that it's Angela Abar's grandfather. He's 100 years old, and he's the original Hooded Justice. And she's like, back then, it had to be kept secret because a white guy with a mask, that was something, but a black guy with a mask, that was really scary. And Jane's like, "Oh, thankfully things have changed." And but so the thing is that she says, "Well, here's the deal though, like the reason he killed Judd was because he was convinced that Judd was involved with this Cyclops organization that was involved with mesmerism and mind control." She's like, "I know it sounds silly, but that's what he thought." And what it seemed like was that what I'm wondering here is like, is 7th Cal taking that at face value? Because as a detective, I have to take that at face value, just to sort of like to game it out. And so like maybe if 7th Cavalry is just Cyclops reborn, and maybe actually it turns out that they set the White Knight up. And basically she figures it out, like all the stuff that Joe Keane told Looking Glass the other episode. And then maybe the goal here is to make Joe Keane president, so that once they've normalized cops in masks, they can just send masked guys everywhere.
And when people don't know
who's the good guys, who's the bad guys.
Who's the good guy, who's the bad guys.
Seems crazy to me. That doesn't seem like something that could ever happen.
I can't imagine that.
Just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like a thing that would ever occur. Like, just doesn't. No. Yeah, that's really comic booky.
That's a stretch. That's a real stretch.
Yeah, like just like flooding the streets with guys with masks with no identifying anything else, and sort of just like having them do violent things. And then,
not in my America.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I guess this is a different universe. I guess. Yeah. And she's like, President Joe, and Jane goes, "That was the original plan." And Laurie's just fucking dumbfounded. And I like how this is sort of a reversal of the Adrian saying, "Oh, I already did it." Like he gives the villain monologue, but then says, "All right, I did it already." Like, but this here, she's like, Laurie's like, "What?" She goes, "Oh, am I not supposed to confess yet? Like, are we not there at that part of the story?" And she goes, "The thing is, President seemed a little small potatoes, so we've gone for something bigger." And then she pulls out this remote and begins clicking it at Laurie, and it doesn't work. And Laurie's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then all of a sudden, the couch that she's sitting on halfway falls to the floor, and then she clicks another button and it falls all the way through the floor.
Yes.
And
trapdoor.
That's an SNL reference.
Trapdoor.
Wilson Trapdoors is an SNL sketch with John Lovitz, and they sell shoddy trapdoors with remote controls. And then the remote control says Wilson on it.
Oh, does it?
It is straight up an SNL joke. Yeah, it's just straight up right in there. But I love the idea that the remote control is like really old.
Yeah.
And I love that concept.
Definitely an old remote, but they've had it in the house for a long time.
That trapdoor's been there for a long time, and I kind of love that concept that 30, 40 years ago, like when that trapdoor would have been installed, things in the world were more comic booky. Do you know what I mean? Like you had the mask guy still running around, so the bad guys were putting trapdoors in their homes and shit like that. I kind of absolutely fucking love that. I thought that was really, really great. It's a really. I love that Laurie's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Laurie's too dumbfounded to stand up. She's like, "What is happening? What is this?"
It's so funny. Angela is sitting in her bed and looking out at the big Millennium clock, and Beyond Me comes in and starts giving her the world's weirdest Rorschach test. And Angela answers a couple of them, and it's like, which woman seems more afraid? Which man seems more trustworthy? And finally, which woman is more angry? And it's the exact same picture. And finally, Angela's like, what is this? Like, what is this test telling you about my recovery? And Beyond Me is like, oh, nothing. This is for my thesis. Actually, like, I needed somebody to do this with, for data, and it's my dissertation. And Angela, somehow the discussion turns to the kids, and Beyond Me is like, is it tough lying to your kid all the time? And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, and which is funny because Angela, you know exactly what she's talking about. Yeah. You know, lying that you're not a cop. Like, and they have this discussion about it's okay to lie to the kids because the kids lost their parents in the White Knight and it would upset them. And that
she starts with the basic superhero secret identity excuse of like,
right,
you know, it's to protect my loved ones, and then it kind of gets broken down to like, are you protecting them or are you hiding who you are from them?
But also, if you're trying to protect them, then
why are
maybe
you
just
doing it?
Why are you doing it? Why are you a cop? Like, if it's that dangerous, why are you doing it? And that is obviously always the question that needs to be asked of superheroes that nobody ever does. It's like, okay, so what's more important to you? Like, which of these two things is more important? But this flashes her back. The show's amazing, but there's a way that they wrote this really well. But there is on paper the idea that she says, well, why are you a cop? And then it goes, this is why I'm a cop. Like,
yeah.
But it's really well done.
It's really well done because they say earlier, too, like, hey, you're going to get caught in your memories and your grandfather's memories, like, at certain points. Like, we know this, we expect this.
It's going to bring back your memories as well. Yeah. So, but also, but it is funny because she's like, why are you a cop? And then it's like, well, let me tell you why I'm a cop.
Why am I a cop?
And then we cut to the past, and she's living in a Vietnamese girls' home where she's painting Dr. Manhattan, I guess Russian nesting dolls, it looks like.
That's what it looked like to me.
And she gets pulled out from the group by the ear.
Well, is it here that we see that she's got the stuff under her bed? Or is that later?
That's later. She gets pulled out by her ear, and there's two cops outside, two Saigon police officers, and they're like, hey, so you told the VVN that you saw a guy doing a puppet show who handed a backpack to the suicide bomber. And she's like, yeah. She goes, do you think you'd recognize him if you saw him again? She goes, oh, yeah, I definitely would. And they pull a guy out of the back seat of the car. He's got a burlap sack on his head. And they're like, is this him? And she goes, oh, yeah, that's definitely him. And they're like, don't be afraid. Like, she's like, I'm not afraid. And again, we begin to get these cut back and forth. And one of the cuts is that when they put the burlap sack back on the guy's head, we cut to her grandfather getting a burlap sack put on his head. Again, it's really engaging with the nuance and the moral grayness of this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is this good? Like, on some level, like, Angela wants it. Angela loves it, in fact. Like, she knows they're going to kill this guy. Like, it's quite clear to her.
When the cop walks away with the guy, she says, can I listen?
Can I listen? Yeah, well, she first is, like, going to follow, and the lady cop is like, stay here. And then she goes, well, can I listen? And the lady cop loves that and gives her her badge and says, when you grow up, come find me. And so Angela takes the badge back into the girl's home and puts it underneath her bed next to that copy of the VHS that she never returned. So she still has Sister Night. The fucking rentals, the late fees on that is out.
Well, mainly, talk about being a cinephile. You are holding that tape when the explosion goes off that kills your parents, and your first thought is, I need to hold on to this tape. Because she drops it, and then she clearly, after the explosion, picked it back up.
Yeah.
It's very important to her. She's real movie person.
She's a real movie person. She's a real film bro. She got to put it on her fucking letterbox, bro. It's got to happen. It's got to get on the letterbox.
It's certainly in her top 4, without a doubt. Unless she doesn't have it because she doesn't want to give away that she's a detective.
Yes, that could be it. But I do love though the way that
her secret identity is if the movie comes up in conversation, she has to be like, I've never heard of that movie, huh?
I think according to PDpedia, most people never have.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
He only found out that it's a movie because on her intake form, when she became part of the Tulsa PD as a super detective, there's a form that asks your reason for coming up with that superhero name, and her response was just watch the movie.
Okay.
And so he then found the movie. So people.
Do you think then they had to bring in legal and be like, is she allowed to use this name, or are we going to run into copyright problems?
I kind of love that idea. Angela comes back into reality, and Beyond is like, okay, so whose memory was at that time? And Angela's like, it was mine. And Beyond tells her, you know what? I have these dreams, and in these dreams, I'm an old lady, and these horrible things are happening, and it hurts, and it's scary. And does it hurt? When you were being your grandfather, did it hurt? And Angela's like, yeah, it hurt. And then the show is like, fuck you, we're going to do one of those amazing transitions that we love to do, where the camera zooms in on her eyes, and then her irises become stained glass, and then her eyes become stained glass, and then we're in this church this hall where the trial of Adrian is happening. It is day 365 of the trial.
Whole year. Yeah.
The whole year.
Seems like a very long trial.
I mean, it's all
especially
bullshit.
for how it wraps up.
Well, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is that because after the prosecutor rests her case, she turns to him and winks.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we're playing.
She turns, she winks and she says master as she's getting up to give her speech.
No, she says master, though,
smiles.
negatively. She says master negatively.
But he smiles because he's still like, I'm still in charge of these people.
Well, yeah, when she winks at the end of it, like after saying what a piece of shit he is, that's when you're like, oh, this is a game. This is this is how this dude is keeping himself occupied.
Yeah.
Like, this is the next piece of his occupation, is sort of like, I'm going to be on trial for a year. And so she gives this whole big, the prosecutor, who is Mrs. Crookshanks, one of the Mrs. Crookshanks, gives this whole fiery, very good closing statement about him, about what a piece of shit he is, how he's his whole deal is just murdering them.
3 million people aside.
3 million people at home. We see the squid. We see the actual drawing of the squid from the comic.
Yeah.
This is the actual drawing. And
well, it's got to be a recreation.
but I'm saying it's the exact drawing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
But like even in universe, it's got to be a recreation.
It's definitely recreation, but like it's the exact drawing from the comic. And I'm not even sure if we're supposed to fully believe that is the exact drawing from the, you know what I mean? Like in universe, like if you were to put it on film, would it look different? It's one of those things. So it's a really great closing argument. And I think that one of the most interesting things is that what she's really upset about is not the murder. It's the thou shalt not leave.
Yes.
That is, I think, one of my favorite bits. Thou shalt not leave. And
that's their primary commandment.
That's the primary commandment. And he has violated that. And that's very fucking big deal to them. So I kind of absolutely love that. And so the judge, who's the game warden with his little mustache, is like, okay, does the defense have anything to say? And in what I believe is the greatest moment of this television program, Adrian stands up and tightens his belt and then lets out a big fucking fart, a huge fucking fart, and then sits back down. I absolutely
think about
that.
How poorly this would have gone for him if it was like a silent fart. And he'd be like, God damn it. Wanted this out for 365 days.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's the kids. The kids are back. They just stand right in front of my window. Like they're like a foot from me right now. But anyway, that's all that Adrian has to say. So the game warden is like, you know what? Actually, I can't make you guys judge him because he should be judged by a jury of his peers, and you're not his peers. And at first you're like, oh, because he's so smart. And then he goes, but I did wrangle up his peers. And they open the door, and a bunch of fucking pigs come running in.
Yeah.
This, by the way, is not random.
No?
Nope. There is a DNA? Philosophical argument against. So Adrian's a utilitarian, and a utilitarian basically is like whatever has to be done should be done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and that in utilitarian, the goal of life is the most pleasure and the least pain. That's what the whole goal of life is. And it's the argument against utilitarianism is called the doctrine of swine, which is that you're just basically living life like a pig. Like, you don't have any larger concerns. It's just like, is this going to make me happy, or is this going to make me unhappy, and therefore I don't want to do it? And, so if I have to hurt people to get what I think is good, that's fine. It's utilitarian. And so that's what this is a reference to. Like, what a cool little reference. But also it's a great visual. Awesome. All these little pigs running in. I think that's like very cool. I really like that. And so the game warden picks up one of the little pigs that squeals. Little piggy doesn't like getting picked up. And it turns out in pig Latin, the pig said guilty.
Apparently.
So Adrian has been found. That's all that we get from Adrian this week. That's the whole Adrian story this week.
Yes. Yeah.
Not much else. Just his trial. And even just that bit of the trial. You know what I mean? Like, it's like not even like the whole thing.
No, it's very quick. Just the ending arguments. The pig's deciding he's guilty.
Yeah. So we then cut to Laurie, who is wait, is that where we are? No, we're not there. Hold on, let me look at my notes here. I've jumped ahead too much. Game warden.
No, now we go back to Angela.
Yeah, Angela goes out of her room and she follows the tube that's in her arm to another sealed door next to her. And while she's there, Lady True comes up and is like, "Hey, you hungry?" And they go down to eat. And she says that, like, what are you doing here in Oklahoma? And she's like, "I got a secret plan to save humanity." And it begins here in Tulsa. So Lady True begins their conversation talking about Cal. She's like, it's kind of wild. Like, total amnesia, very rare. Like, only in soap operas, basically. But your husband, there was a car accident and he has total amnesia. Like, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. And Angela's like, well, it happens. It happened to him. And she's like, how do you know this? And she goes, Will told me. And Angela's like, he doesn't know shit about Cal. And Lady True's like, well, he knows shit about you. And so Angela is like, why did you come to Tulsa? She was like, why did you come to Tulsa? She's like, well, we were looking to start over, and Tulsa seemed as good a place as any. We were living in Saigon, and they were hiring here. So as good a place as any. And, where do I have here? Oh, so Angela wants to see her grandfather. And once again, Lady True is like, no, it's not. And she's like, why did he want me to take that whole bottle of nostalgia? And Lady True's like,
not all at once.
He didn't. He didn't think he took it all at once. Yeah. I love that. I really do. I really absolutely love that. And then so she starts talking. She goes, how much nostalgia do you have your daughter on? And Lady True's like, that's not my daughter. And I have her, it's not my nostalgia, it's her nostalgia. And she's like, that's my mother. That's a clone of my mother. And my mother died, and I wanted her to be here for my big moment. And I could recreate her physically, but like I realized that without her experiences, she's not my mother. She's not the same person. So I have been slowly turning her into my mother. And it's pretty weird. And this is when Angela, well, what does this fucking dumb clock do? And
well, no, first Angela says, what about your father?
Oh, yeah.
And Lady
True says he's on his way. Yeah.
He's on his way,
yeah.
Which made me wonder, though the Clark couple that she's paying to have a baby, is she going to take that baby and turn that into her dad?
You don't remember, huh? Do you?
What?
Who her dad is?
No, I don't.
Well,
apparently not.
Your questions will be answered.
Okay. There you go.
Some stuff I do remember. That I do remember. Laurie comes to. She's in the 7th Cavalry Base. She's tied to a chair, and
I do remember now. Damn it.
They're building something there, and they're using True Industries parts too, by the way. And here comes Joaquin, and he's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear from you. I get it. You were born into the Cyclops, and your daddy told you from an early age you were special, and you're just going to be the most powerful racist that runs the country. And he's like, no, it's not quite that. He goes, I'm not a racist. We just think that we need to get back to the way things used to be in this country, and everybody
Things have gotten hard for white men.
Things have gotten hard for the white man, which again is one of those things that was actually happening in 2019 when this show aired, but it still felt fringe, and now it is the official position of the U.S. government that things are hard for the white man out here. So he's like, she does this whole thing like, we're like, I don't want to hear about your fucking, don't give me your villain monologue. I don't want to hear it. Like, and then finally she's like, fine, give me your villain monologue, but just so you know, I don't give a shit. And he's like, I think you of all people are going to really give a shit about this. And basically he tells her that he's going to turn himself into Dr. Manhattan.
Yes, he says, it's hard to be a white man, but what if I was blue?
What if I was blue? Yeah. So then, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And then Tobias walks in.
I blew myself.
I blew myself.
That would be so amazing if that's how this ended up being. It was the Blue Man Group.
That's all Joaquin wants. That's his master plan, is to join the Blue Man Group. He
wants to join the Blue Man Group. I mean, like, that's, somebody...
Do you think there is a Blue Man Group in this universe?
Oh, that's a great question. Wow, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Huh. You know what? I saw a meme today of what's his name? Oh my God, I can't remember the names of the Bluth characters.
Tobias, Buster Job.
Bluth. You know, Buster Bluth's holding a bunch of stuff, and he's saying, "These are my
medals from Army."
And they said, but they've changed the word, so it says, "This is my peace prize from FIFA."
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so great. Now we know what the plan is. The plan is to turn Joaquin into Dr. Manhattan and take over the world. Angela, the window to her room is a TV, and
TVs suck in this universe. Can we all agree to that? Like, it's so, like, it looks like garbage.
And we see Lady True giving a speech to the assembled people here at the Millennium Clock ceremony. And her thing is, hey, so I've done a lot. She basically is like, hey, I revolutionized the entire world, but I also fucked up. And this actually is funny because at first when she's like, nostalgia was a big mistake. I was like, okay, you can leave it there. But then she, like, I guess for the audience has to explain why it was a big mistake. And she's like, everybody wanted to just dwell on their worst moments, and they were too afraid to let go of the bad things and move forward, which is like, whatever. And this makes Angela decide that she's going to fucking take off, and she's going to go break into Will's room. And she bangs on the door and yells in, nothing happens. She picks up a rock and throws it into the hand scanner in classic science fiction fashion. When you destroy the control panel, it unlocks the door.
Instantly unlocks the door. Easiest door to break into.
Yeah, it's Star Wars rules, right? That's the thing. Yeah. Like, that's how it always goes on Star Wars. And she goes in, and actually, you know what? As I remember watching this episode live, and as much as I love the fart, nothing tops her walking in and finding a big fucking elephant at the other end of the fucking... Yeah. And I love the elephant has a memory. The elephant has a long memory. Like, that's the premise of an elephant, like in popular culture. I love that. It's just so great.
It's perfect.
It's sleeping. It's snoring.
Yes.
The elephant has a gentle snore. I like that they gave him a gentle little snore. And she pulls the tube out of her arm, and as soon as she does, she fucking passes out. And she falls back in time to her at the orphanage, and a woman comes. So Angela Abar is doing Annie work.
Yes.
That's straight up hard knock life happening right there. That is the choreography to a hard knock life. And it turns out it's June Abar, her grandmother, who comes and takes her out of the orphanage and takes her to a Burgers and Borscht, and it basically gives her the whole story, which is that she did not know that Angela existed. That when her son decided that he was going to go into Vietnam, she said, I will never talk to you again if you do this. And he did it anyway, and she's like, he didn't realize how fucking he's very stubborn, but he didn't know where he got it from. So I was more stubborn. And she finally had a heart attack. She was fine, but it made her realize she wanted to be in touch with him. She sent a letter to him in Vietnam, and it came back stamped deceased. And that's how she found out all of this. And so she has come to rescue her granddaughter. And they are talking about the Sister Night video comes out at one point. And Angela's like, this looks like me. And it's a representation bit, you know what I mean? Like, not a lot of people look like you here, but also it is, for us, it's, she becomes sister, you know, it's the whole thing. And
her grandma's a big fan of the movie.
She loves the movie. She saw the movie. She loves it. But when Angela says why she can't watch it, because people in masks are bad, June says, well, your daddy got scared by somebody in a mask when he was about your age. He never got over it, but maybe people in masks aren't all bad. So, you know, and so she says, I'm going to take you home to Tulsa. That's where we're from. And when we get to Tulsa, we can watch this video together. So they go to this taxi. Excuse me. They're going to go to that came out of nowhere. They're going to go to the airport, and they put Angela into the back seat, and then June walks around the back of the taxi and dies. Just straight dies.
Angela with like Annie Level's bad luck almost. Like
really unreal how bad this luck is. Yeah. And the camera pulls out of Angela standing over her dead grandmother. We see a mural of Dr. Manhattan. Somebody has spray painted murderer over it.
And he's got devil horns.
And he's got blood on his hands too. Yeah. You have to assume that the person who spray painted that was Vietnamese, but they did it in English so that the American audience at home watching this television show would understand what it said.
Oh, well, this was something I wondered too, was it's the 51st state. It's been the 51st state for a while. Are they actively pushing the Vietnamese to speak English at this point?
I'm going to guess.
Is this a loss of the Irish language kind of deal? You know,
I'm going to guess
no. In Hawaii as well, right? In Hawaii, I think that's an issue as well, isn't it?
Yeah, my actual guess is going to be no, because everybody speaks Vietnamese all the time, and Angela speaks fluent Vietnamese.
That's true.
But also Redford's president by now. Or is he president the next year?
I don't know what year this is, so I can't say for sure.
Well, Redford becomes president pretty soon around now, and I can't imagine Redford's policies. In the show, Redford's policies are super woke, so I can't imagine that he would be like, have a policy.
But we're what, like 10, 15 years into it at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when Vietnam ended in Watchmen in the comic.
It ended
much quicker.
Early. I think it ended like the mid to late 60s.
Okay, so it's been 20 years, maybe. Like,
yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe the kids are learning, but they must be learning both, because the woman at the girls' school talks in Vietnamese all the time.
Yeah.
So the kids are learning both. I don't know. Angela wakes up. The alarm is going off. Subject is disconnected from the tubes, is what the computer is saying. She goes off, gets on an elevator, takes it, finds herself in a weird ass hallway with a big dark room at the end of it with a globe.
There's something I like with the elevator.
What's that?
Is that she hits floor 0, which I think is much more a thing for other countries, because for America, the ground floor would be 1.
Is floor 0 the ground floor in other countries?
Yes. At least in like Ireland and England and like those areas. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I think that, to me, that's how I took it, was because she grew up in Vietnam, to her, 0 is the ground floor. So she ends up going under the ground floor by accident.
I mean, she could be at the Burbank 16, AMC 16, where the parking lot there, the most confusing elevator with the most confusing. It's like really hard to know which one. There's the ground floor, and then there's the star floor, and the star floor is the actual ground floor, and the ground floor is not the ground floor. So maybe that's what's happening. And every single level of the parking garage is color-coded, and they're all color-coded in versions of orange.
That's a good call.
It's really great. Like, you get there and you're like, okay, which orange am I? Like, it's really fucking bad.
Were we burnt orange?
Which really, were we? It's like that. There's a globe in the middle of this big dark room, and Angela, being a detective, has to go look at it. She's very curious. She touches it and realizes very quickly that this globe, when you touch it, it will show you the Manhattan booth recordings from any location. And so she's going all over the world. She sees somebody from South America, somebody from the Middle East. Finally, she goes to Tulsa. We see Laurie talking to Dr. Manhattan. And then Lady True shows up. And Lady True is like, hey, so what do you know? All these prayers, none of them answered. Do you want to know why they're not answered? Because Dr. Manhattan is not listening. She's like, he is begging people to come. People are begging him to come. You should hear the stuff they're begging him to fix. It is dark. They need help. They are looking for him. And he is not listening. He's not even on Mars. He's here on Earth. He has taken a human form here on Earth. And Angela's like, I'm getting out of here. And as she's leaving, Lady True is like, aren't you even going to ask me who he is? And Angela just looks at her and takes off. We get a bit at when she's leaving where the cops try to stop her, and she blows through Red Scare's car.
One thing I really appreciate about this show.
What?
And I honestly, I can't imagine this was something that they're like, oh, we forgot. But, you know, in the comics, all cars are electric.
Mm-hmm.
And here they're clearly using just regular gas-powered cars.
They're not. They're electric cars.
No, they put in the electric car sounds over them.
Oh, yeah.
And it just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
It was just funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. They just put electric car sounds over regular cars.
Yeah,
it's cheaper
it
that
makes
way.
it's funny.
She drives home like a maniac, and she goes home. She runs into her house. We see that there's 7th Cavalry guys right across the street watching. She comes in. Cal is sleeping on the couch. He's reading Ernest Hemingway, For Whom the Bell Tolls, because he wanted to get the full story of the Metallica song. And the bell asks not for whom the bell tolls, Cal Abar, for the bell tolls for thee. And she starts going through the cupboards and stuff, and she's getting shit together. And he's like, hey, what's up? She's like, listen, I love you. It's time to come out of the tunnel. And he's like, what are you fucking talking about? She goes, it's time to come back. And he's like, I think those drugs that you took like have really fucked you up because this is pretty weird. And she's like, just remember, I love you. And then she hits him right in the head with a fucking hammer. And he falls to the ground.
Keeps hitting him with a hammer.
And she keeps hitting him with a hammer and beats his head in. And then there's a hole in his skull. And she puts her fingers into his brain and pulls out the Dr. Manhattan hydrogen symbol, which I do have here on my arm.
There
Look
you
at
go.
me. I'm a Cal Abar. And as she holds it, it's floating in her hand. And everything starts glowing blue. And quite clearly, Cal comes back into being Dr. Manhattan. She says, baby, we're in trouble. And that's the end of the episode.
Yes.
What'd you think of this one?
Great episode. Fantastic.
Oh, I forgot to mention that Lady True tells Angela that the 7th Cavalry is going to try to capture Dr. Manhattan and destroy
Yes,
him.
they're trying to. He's in Oklahoma and they're trying to find him.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode.
It's good stuff. It's
You know what?
Really good episode.
I have like a small problem here with that part.
What?
Knowing that they're looking for Dr. Manhattan, the first thing that she does is make Dr. Manhattan come back.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like she could probably make Cal leave town with her.
Probably, but I also think in her mind, she's like, okay, if I put a hole in my husband's head and take this thing out, he'll turn into an omnipotent, indestructible being.
Right.
That's going to take care of this problem.
Right.
Like, I would imagine that they want to capture Dr. Manhattan not in Dr. Manhattan form. Because to capture him in Dr. Manhattan form.
I don't think that they know that. I'm not convinced that they know that he's a human.
They do. She says parading around like one of us.
No, she knows 7th Cavalry.
No, Lady True knows.
Right, but she's not working with 7th Cavalry.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not. She's trying to stop 7th Cavalry. She says in 1 hour they're going to do this. I'm stopping it. That's her whole plan.
It seems like they know.
Why would you say that it seems like they know?
Because they're watching that house. They know the cows, right? That's how
I
took it.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember what they do or don't know. I would not be convinced that they know, but I mean, maybe. I guess we'll find out next week.
I mean, if their entire plan is to turn Joaquin into Dr. Manhattan, and they need Dr. Manhattan to do that, they must know that he's in Oklahoma. Otherwise, why would they be there? They must know he's in Tulsa. Otherwise, why would they be there?
That's a good point. Yeah. They might have. Yeah. Okay. I guess we'll find out next week. I guess. I suppose.
Like perhaps, and I maybe this comes up in the next episode or two, or maybe I'm just spitballing, but perhaps the White Knight, where they killed all the cops, was because they believed that Dr. Manhattan was one of the cops, and they were trying to figure out who it was.
No, I think that their plan always was to make Joaquin president on the back of this false flag event. I think that was always their plan. I mean, Jane says as much. That was the original plan.
That's true. She does.
And then the plan, at some point, they became aware that Dr. Manhattan is there, and that's why things changed. But I don't remember. I remember who Lady True's dad is, but I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I remember Lady True's dad is now. But maybe they have an insider at True, you know?
Could be. It could be fucking Will Reeves, because this guy is all over the place.
He knows everything.
He knows everything. But he's all over the place. He's all over the place too. Like, his sort of like his ideas of like what to do. He's doing the wheel plans within plans thing. So who knows? I don't recall. People at home are screaming because they watch this and they remember. But how do you remember something from 6 years ago? That's a lifetime.
I do not remember.
It's a lifetime.
I do not remember.
Anything before COVID, I'm like, okay, so back in the Middle Ages, like back before the Common Era, this was how it was. I was lost to the sands of time. No, it's a really good episode. And again, I'm just really always blown away whenever the show fully turns into a sequel to the comic. It always is, but like when it really plays that hard, I'm always blown away by it. And I love these episodes in the back half of the show that are character flashback focused. I love it. That's some of my favorite stuff from the comic too. Like when the comic stops and does a bunch of flashback stuff and gives each of those characters their own moment and whatever. I love it, and I love that that's the structure they use here too. I think it's
we got one more of those coming.
We do. We got the Dr. Manhattan flashback next week.
Yeah.
The official synopsis is Angela's mysterious past in Vietnam is at last revealed. The title of the episode, this is real Derek Faraci shit, by the way. A god walks into a bar.
There you go.
That's real Derek Faraci stuff right there. It's a bad joke.
Sure. I thought it was gonna have like a misspelling in it.
No,
or like a word is spelt in a way to make it clear that you're supposed to mispronounce it.
No, I always appreciate your dedication to corny and bad bits. I love
bits.
I know, I love it, and I appreciate that dedication to it. That is next week's episode. Yeah, this is a really good episode. I love that we chose to do this. It makes me very happy. This is such a good show.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic show.
And it's so funny because, it was created during Trump 1, and it is like a real warning about Trump 2. And after 2020, we were like, oh, good, Trump 2 isn't happening. And then Trump 2 did happen, and more stuff from this show is coming to pass.
It's really too on the nose in some ways. Yeah,
it's too on the nose. Unsettling. Yeah. But it really makes you realize how unoriginal the guys that are ruining the world are.
Yes.
Yeah. Really does. Really, really does. So, it's, shitty days indeed, but we have this wonderful program from 2019 that will make us happy. We'll be back again next week with that next episode. A god walks into a bar. Derek, if people wanted to wear their enjoyment of this program, what?
Oh, I just got the joke.
Oh, see, now do you get why it's a Derek joke?
Angela A. bar.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just got the joke. I didn't get it before. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Now you see, it's a compliment to you.
Yeah. Good. That's good. All right. That's funny. It's funny. I didn't put it together.
I love that we got to watch you do that in real time. That is delightful to me. If people want to wear their love for this program, or perhaps drink out of their love for this program, where can they get stuff for that?
They can go to cinema-sangha.com, and that has links to the shop, the Cinema Sangha shop, or to the Cinema Sangha Discord, or Patreon rather. So you can join the Patreon if you're not on the Patreon. Or if you just want to buy a shirt or something, you can go there and buy some merch.
You should join the Patreon. We just announced that we're going to be doing Knives Out Wake Up Dead Man for our December episode.
On this episode.
Announce it live. We came up with it live. There's going to be somebody out there who is unhappy that we're not doing a poll, I'm sure. I apologize to that person. But I'm just not ready to go back to the superheroes.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I think one of the problems is that this show is so good
Yeah.
that to go back to the superheroes right now feels...
Well, the two concepts I gave you for this month, neither of them had superhero stuff.
I did not like the movies on those.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
no, and that was the thing. I was like, you know what? I don't love these movies, and I don't like being the one who's negative.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Sure.
Your job is to not like the movies that we're talking.
Apparently, we can only choose movies I don't like, including when it's my turn to choose the movie, and I choose a movie I don't like, as it turns out. So, only myself to blame.
So join at the $7 or above level, and you will get access to Watchmen. We will later on this month be talking about Wake Up Dead Man. We're going to do it right after it comes out on Netflix, so everybody has a chance to see it, because we don't want to spoil this excellent mystery for everybody at home. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for being part of our community. Thanks for continuing your support. If you haven't yet joined us, please feel free to rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Let other people know that this is not the worst show on the podcasts. It's close, but it's not the worst, I would say. I've been listening to I've been trying to find new podcasts, and I keep like starting ones, and I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Like, what? This is the worst shit I've ever heard in my life.
There's a lot of bad ones out there.
A lot of bad ones out there, yeah. It's pretty cool that we're not the worst.
Yeah. I mean, if we were the worst, at least like that'd be something.
So you're worried that we're more towards middle of the pack, and that's just not that interesting.
Yeah, we're just, we just exist.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're not the best, be the worst, and then you're still making history in some way. That'd be nice.
Very meaningful, my friend. Very meaningful. All right, back again next week. Until then, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be well. But most of all, oh no, there's no most of all now anymore. May you be happy, may you be safe, may you be well. And we will see you across the Omniverse.